Yeah, and about online MOOCs, what is your view on are they a good starting point or for learning, let's say, a field in robotics or computer vision or whatever, or do you think there's a better approach, or do you think they have certain role but you still need universities?
Ooh, okay. I think that MOOCs are great. There are MOOCs of different quality, of course, all throughout there. I think when you're looking for a MOOC, look for one where you have to do a project. In my
Okay.
experience, the Udacity MOOCs are very good in that aspect because
Mhm.
you have to do projects and they are peer reviewed. So someone is actually looking at your work. It's also good because it's open ended and that they just give you a problem and you have to just make things work for yourself. It's not like you have to get exactly this correct answer to 3 decimal points or the autograder will fail you. So MOOCs are great if there are actual projects involved. Um, to that point, we're talking about the whole passive learning as a good first pass. I think, and I've done this before too, even if I'm not like actively taking the MOOC, I will sign up for it and just watch the lecture videos to get myself like a baseline level of knowledge. Again, just to get like the terminology. Um, acknowledging that that is not going to be enough to consider yourself an expert by any means, right? It's just a good starting pass. And if you treat it that way, I think it's honest, it's fair.
Okay. Okay.
Um, as far as replacing university, man, I don't know. There's there are certain things in universities that you're just not going to yet recreate with MOOCs as the way they are. One of them is actually getting to work with people.
Mm.
MOOCs attempt to do group projects and so on, but generally, it's not the same. Same thing with just the experience of signing up for these like big like student project based competitions like the Robo Cup or the Formula student teams. Like it just that doesn't exist in a MOOC, right? You need a university with resources where you have like a lab space where you
Yeah.
have this like car sitting in the basement that students are breaking every day. Like that, you can't replace that yet. Um, Now I do acknowledge that university is, you know, it doesn't have the same level of access as a MOOC. That a lot more people from around the world can get on MOOCs and gain skills that way. And I think that works okay for things like software development, right? It's for the same reason that
Yeah.
you'll find more success in the MOOC space with things like web development or just more general core software development versus things that require you to have hardware experience. Will that change for robotics, where we have more like hardware labs in MOOCs? I've seen that happen in a couple places. Like the Construct, they do the ROS learning things.
Yeah.
They have ways for you to get into like entire virtual machines with simulators, and they have hardware labs. Udacity had this too, where they had a lab at Karlsruhe Institute of Technology, where you could program a
Mhm.
KUKA robot arm from your desk to solve a task. But these things are still very rare, and
Mm.
it, I think specifically for the robotics space or the embodied AI, it'll be a long time before MOOCs will give you that hands-on engineering experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's tough when hardware is involved. You have to be in the space of a lab environment or where the robots are actually.